You know that feeling when you used to love reading? When you'd curl up with a book, lose track of time, and suddenly it's 2 a.m. and you're there whispering, just one more chapter. But now you pick up a book and your brain's like, check notifications, grab your phone, scroll, think about work. I mean, the magic's gone. I get it. I went through a long drought myself. For years, I told people I love books, but honestly, I wasn't reading any. I mean, my TBR pile was basically a guilt tower. And one day that hit me. When did something I love become something that made me feel bad? That's what this video is about. How to fall back in love with reading as an adult. Not in a productivity read 100 books in a year kind of way, but in a slow, emotional, human way. Stick around because I'm going to give you real, practical ways to rediscover the joy of fiction. Plus, I've got a free 7-day community trial where you can connect with other readers, share the books you love, and get fresh recommendations that will reignite your love for reading. Welcome, everyone. If you don't know me, my name is Daniel, and this is The Story Renaissance. Let's start with something simple but powerful. You don't need to read more, you need to read slower. We live in scroll mode. Everything's quick, reactive, optimized for dopamine hits, but books are the opposite. They ask you to dwell. Try this. Next time you open a book, set a timer for just 15 minutes. No goals, no pressure. Just read for pleasure. Notice the sentences, the world, the quiet. I call this the slow reading ritual. Make it special. Tea, blanket, a candle, whatever feels sacred to you. The goal is not to finish a book, it's to feel it again. Once I started doing this, something clicked. My mind stopped treating reading like a task and started treating it like rest. If this is already resonating with you, then go ahead and click that like button because it really helps people find their way back to stories. Now let's clear up something that keeps a lot of adults from reading. You have to read serious books. No, you don't. You don't have to start reading Dostoevsky or whatever's trending on Book Talk Academia. When I fell back in love with reading, it wasn't with some ancient classic. It was with The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'd first read it as a teenager, but coming back to it as an adult was a completely different experience. Douglas Adams' mix of absurd humor and deep existential questions hit me right in that sweet spot between laughter and reflection. It reminded me that stories didn't have to be heavy to be meaningful. They could be ridiculous, witty, and still say something profound about human nature. That's when I realized why I cared about stories in the first place. Here's the twist. Reading is like exercise. The best book is the one that gets you moving. So go find your gateway novel. That's your reading reentry book, one that's easy, familiar, and emotional. It could be Harry Potter, The Night Circus, Eleanor Oliphant, or even Percy Jackson, whatever makes you want to turn the page. You can always read the serious stuff later. Right now, you're rebuilding your relationship with reading, not your resume. Here's a practice that changed everything for me. Reader's journaling. Not book reviews, not notes, just reflections. After you read, jot down one line about what it made you feel or think. Something like, this scene reminded me of how lonely I felt in high school. I love how this writer describes silence. Or, I forgot how good it feels to care about fictional people. This does two things. One, it deepens your emotional connection with what you're reading. And two, it rewires your brain to associate books with reflection, not pressure. Reading becomes a dialogue, not homework. And if you're someone that's been feeling disconnected lately from creativity, from yourself, this one practice might just open that door again. And here's the part that helped me the most: community. Because falling back in love with reading isn't just about books, it's about belonging. That's why I created the Story Renaissance, my school community for writers, thinkers, and readers who believe fiction still matters. Inside, you'll find discussions about why stories shape culture, workshops on writing and using AI without losing your human voice, ongoing discussions where we share the books we love and trade story recommendations, and the cozy, supportive space to share ideas and get feedback. If you're ready to rekindle that spark, you can join us with a 7-day free trial. No pressure. Just come hang out, meet some kindred spirits, and rediscover why stories meant so much to you in the first place. Just click the link in the description below. Okay, back to our next step. If reading feels hard lately, it's probably not you, it's your environment. Your brain associates certain spaces with certain habits. If you always scroll TikTok in bed, your brain says, This is a scrolling zone. So create a reading zone. It doesn't have to be fancy, just consistent. A corner of your couch, a park bench, a cafe table. Make that space sacred. No notifications, no guilt, no multitasking. Reading is a sensory experience. When you make it cozy and intentional, your mind will start to crave it again. And hey, if that idea is inspiring you, drop a comment down below and tell me what your reading ritual is. So I'd love to hear what you're trying. Here's something that surprised me. Reading alone is beautiful, but reading together is electric. When I joined my first online book group as an adult, I expected awkward silence. But what I found were people who felt exactly like me, overwhelmed, burned out, but still hungry for meaning. We didn't just talk about plot twists, we talked about life, art, grief, hope. Fiction became this bridge between our inner worlds. If you've lost touch with your reader identity, connection is how you find it again. Whether it's a local club, an online challenge, or yes, our school community, find your reading tribe. Because reading might start alone, but it doesn't have to stay that way. Before we wrap up, let's address one last barrier: book guilt. That voice that says, you didn't finish it, you're not reading enough, you're not reading the right books. Ignore it. Reading isn't about achievement, it's about attention. It's about giving your mind a place to rest and wonder again. So start small, read slowly, stop when you're bored, and when a story does grab you, let it pull you all the way in. Because that's how we fall back in love, not with checklists, but with curiosity. If you made it this far, thank you. That means you care about stories, and that spark is still alive in you. If this video spoke to you, then subscribe for more conversations just like this about reading, creativity, and the human side of storytelling. And if you're ready to turn inspiration into action, then join us inside the Story Renaissance. You'll get a 7-day free trial, access to our reading discussions, writing workshops, and a community that still believes that fiction can change lives. Links down below. Come say hi. Until next time, keep reading slowly, keep feeling deeply, and keep believing in stories.